Hi, welcome back to the video series on home learning, real life learning during the time of the coronavirus. I'm Lori Beausoleil. I'm a former teacher, a lifelong learner myself, and a devoted grandparent. And I wanted to share my views on the importance of real life learning for kids and the opportunity that we have right now that we're home and having more time with our children in a more relaxed setting, a time when we can actually help them learn in an individualized, unique way that really addresses their interests. We talked in the intro about my qualifications as a former teacher. I used to teach elementary school, and I have also spent several years teaching what used to be called special education, where I was supporting children who had especially unique learning needs outside of the regular classroom, sometimes in terms of their ability to learn in a group or learn at the same pace or in the same way as the rest of the students in the classroom. And I supported them in individualizing their curriculum. And I also did several years as a homeschool support teacher. So I worked with families that were homeschooling their kids, and I learned a great deal about how wonderful the homeschool environment can be and how we can do so much learning that involves real life experiences, which most parents have to do after school and on the weekends. So I learned to have a lot of respect for the homeschooling families that, in all honesty, I didn't know or understand before when I was a classroom teacher, and I guess really felt that all children should be in a classroom at that point. And now I understand that everybody's different and everyone meets their needs in different ways. So I wanted to support families that are parents and grandparents that are wondering right now how to work with their children, how to continue their learning when they're home, especially if school is off now until next fall. And so first I wanted to talk about real life learning and school readiness and the concerns of both. At this time, I wanted to just mention that this is not going to be a hit the ground running video for parents to be gathering quick and easy resources for their children to work on independently while getting sort of, kept up to date with school skills. My interest and the way I feel I can help is more in the idea of pausing right now while we can and reflecting on what really matters to us, what we really think learning is for, and what we want our kids to know as they get older, as they pursue their interests, as they join society as a citizen, as a contributor, and as a working person later on in life. So I think it's an important time for all of us as adults to think about how we are hoping to go back into our lives after all of this, and what things we need to change, what things we'd like to slow down, what things we feel were not serving us, and what we'd like to let go of, and include in that reflection, exploring the ideas of what we think children should be learning in order to make their lives happy and successful going forward. So as we slow down the learning, one of the things that I wanted to talk about was what it was like as a teacher trying to meet the needs of many children in the classroom, and why that was a difficult task for me towards the end of my career when I stopped it about 5 years ago. And the reason I wanted to mention that is that I found it difficult to make the learning meaningful for a large group of children with all different interests and all different needs and all different abilities. But the great thing about addressing school readiness in a home learning environment, when we slowed it all down, is that we can really accelerate the learning of each individual child by making it meaningful and bringing skill development in sort of through the side door, and allowing children to learn what they're interested in and to get better at reading and writing and math and gather knowledge just incidentally as part of their enthusiasm and excitement for learning. And one of the things that I experimented with as a teacher was doing that as much as I could. Many, many teachers are amazing at doing that and are able to keep the whole class engaged. My creativity wasn't best suited to that. Mine was better working with individual children, and that is my passion now. So, for instance, with my grandchildren or with children that I know, I really listen to them and find out what they're interested in and let them explain it to me. The one child I mentioned in the introduction video that was interested in Transformers, there's a TV show with Transformers, and his particular interested one was one that transforms into a plane or a hydrofoil or an ATV. And I talked about how you could really extend that into studying transportation, and as well as the words transformation and transportation, and printing those words for kids of different ages, or having them learn to spell them themselves or learn to read them or read about those things, depending on the age of the child. And one of the things that I really learned, and that I think is an important part of our reflection right now, is the need to begin to value what children are interested in its own right, not as a sort of a manipulative way to get them to learn, which I certainly was guilty of using in the classroom, whatever would get them to focus. But I'm thinking that now that we have the time and we have the space and we have these individual children that we know and love, that we can ask them to explain to us, because we certainly don't know as much as they do about the things that they love. So when it comes to Transformers and all of the things that they're able to do, for me to really listen to that child and then choose to guide that child in the things that they are passionate about, and creating reading activities and writing activities and plays and printing off the lyrics of the theme songs to the shows so that they can sing them, and creating scripts so that they can read them to perform. Definitely my ideas still lean more to the teachery kind of things after my 27 years of experience. And I was a kid that loved to fill things out in school and do the paperwork that teachers would hand us in those days. So my creativity leans towards that, and I'm inviting you to take your ideas way beyond anything that I can suggest. Use my thoughts as a springboard, and then in conversations with your kids or in sessions with me, if you would like further input, really explore what your children are asking you to help them do. If they have a better idea than we do, or if you have a better idea than I do, which I'm sure you will, that suits you and your children even better, then explore it, go with it. This is a time of patience, a time when if it doesn't work out to be exactly what you think they might learn, everything you want them to learn from the activity you create, you'll change it and it'll grow. And the next time you'll have those things in mind. It takes a while to think like a teacher. And in many ways, the best teachers that I've known have begun to grow beyond thinking like that and thinking more of as an advocate for the kids and a guide for helping the children access what they need in order to learn what they're fascinated with. So I'll cut my video off now because I don't want to be too verbose. I'm going to aim to have my videos be about 10 minutes, but I'll speak again in my next one about some of the things that are sort of steps forward from this point, and talk a little bit more about how we can address those school skills so that you are feeling reassured about that, and also how to address different ages and different interests, and how to really genuinely respect the kids' interests as we move forward into a time of hopefully far more uniquely individualized, interest-based learning. So thanks for joining me, and I'll talk to you again soon. Take care, stay calm, and lots of love. Bye.